Seagulls, treasure maps, and seasickness. Sailing as a metaphor for differentiation. Winter often leaves many of us longing for the warmth of summertime. Days of cloudy weather can bring on a morose feeling that can be hard to shake off. I found myself feeling this way a few days ago and began to imagine being on a sailboat while soaking in the warm rays of the tropical sun. Instantly I felt better. I stayed in this dreamlike revelry for as long as I could until reality began to seep back in. It was in this transition period that the idea of sailing as a useful metaphor for differentiation began to take form. Getting started. The first step in planning a sailing trip is the selection of the boat. Boats come in all shapes and sizes, from mega yachts to dinghies and catamarans. Each has their benefits and drawbacks. Mega yachts provide luxury and all the convenience of home, but are expensive to maintain and cannot venture into shallow water like a dinghy might. Monohulls give you the most authentic sailing experience as you heel from side to side with each tack, but catamarans are faster, have more space, and provide a calm, smooth ride. Let's substitute students for the boats in these examples. Obviously, we don't get to choose our students, but all students are different and come in a variety of shapes, cultural backgrounds, and readiness levels. Each student has areas in which they excel and others where improvement is needed. Students, like boats, also need a trained captain at the helm, or disaster might soon ensue. Teachers should look for professional development opportunities available to them and seek out web and print resources covering the many aspects of differentiation. Tools of the trade. Once the boat has been acquired, it is important to take an inventory of its contents and check for defects or missing equipment. All sailboats should have a working anchor, operational sails, a navigation system such as a compass or GPS unit, and plenty of fresh water and food. Expert teachers, like boat captains, do this as well by pre-assessing their students to determine where additional scaffolding is needed and if enrichment or acceleration is necessary due to previous mastery of content. Pre-assessment is one of the most underused but impactful strategies teachers have at their disposal. An investment of a few minutes before the beginning of a unit or lesson can yield great dividends. The anchor on the boat represents the parents and other caring adults in the students' lives. As we know, gifted students may be intellectually years ahead of their peers, but often socially and emotionally at grade level or below. Students have not had sufficient life experiences to develop the wisdom necessary to navigate the world on their own. They need the steady hand of a caring adult and a teacher willing to provide honest feedback and encouragement. Also, the radio should be in working order. Communication between all parties involved is both necessary and valuable. Emails, a regularly updated class website, and productive parent-teacher conferences can ensure healthy communication. The sails on the boat represent the instructional strategies teachers choose in order to help the students traverse the gap between where they begin the year, their home port, and where they will finish it, land ho. An expert sailor constantly watches the sails and trims them carefully depending on the wind speed, angle of approach that is desired, and the choppiness of the water. The purpose of the sail is, of course, to harness the power of the wind. A sail with no wind does not move forward. This is obviously undesirable for sailing or for learning. The winds teachers must harness are the interests and learning preferences of their students. The passion and fire our students have for learning should be carefully enhanced and developed by providing meaningful learning opportunities instead of being stifled due to a lack of challenging, differentiated work. Learning contracts, interest inventories, and curriculum compacting can be powerful tools to help students use what would otherwise be unproductive time for learning experiences that matter to them. Make use of what you know about your students by trying grouping by ability and assigning tiered homework. Excellent ways to manage a differentiated classroom. Just as sailing is an art, so is teaching. It takes years of practice and trial and error to become a master of differentiation. Teachers who differentiate are expert observers and can make fine adjustments in his or her approach on the fly. They are some of the finest action researchers. Yes, they have a master plan ahead of time, but they know when it is necessary to change direction and shift course. Addressing challenges. At certain times of the year, the Caribbean is prone to tropical storms and hurricanes. The anatomy of a hurricane includes left and right hurricane walls, where winds can reach well over 100 miles an hour, and the eye of the storm, where it's calm. The safest place to be, at least temporarily, is in the eye of the storm. In our metaphor, let's think of hurricanes as the challenge level provided to our students. Providing too much challenge is equivalent to the boat being caught in the left wall of the storm. The passengers are in survival mode. No progress towards the final destination is made, and chaos can take over. Providing not enough challenge is equivalent to the boat being in the right wall of the storm. Once again, survival mode takes over, little or no progress is made, and mutiny is a possibility. For gifted students in particular, the consequences of not finding the optimal level of challenge often include boredom, lack of motivation, and a low sense of self-worth. As a result, students may also begin to underachieve, misbehave, tune out completely, be mislabeled, or eventually drop out. Another common danger for sailors is seasickness. This is an uncomfortable condition that can happen on any size vessel. In today's age of high-stakes testing and a trend towards prescriptive curriculum, our students are most in danger of losing a grasp on autonomy, relatedness, and a feeling of competence in themselves. Providing our students with meaningful choices, giving them an opportunity to interact with others in order to develop connections and bonds, and providing an adequate level of challenge will prevent the metaphorical sickness from setting in and lead to successful attitudes about school. Finding a way. A lucky few sailors have even found treasure. Countless stories have been told of pirates and treasure seekers conducting perilous missions and going on epic adventures in search of buried gold, silver, and other valuables. Differentiation provides the time needed for extra exploration. Teachers need to be on the lookout for a different kind of treasure, the constant search for hidden talent in our students. Once found, teachers can help students develop these raw talents into expertise through carefully crafted experiential learning experiences where risk-taking is encouraged and a growth mindset is promoted. The last piece of our metaphor is the navigation system sailors use to traverse the often featureless oceans. Being lost at sea is a real possibility if you don't have a well-functioning navigational system and plan. We can think of the stars and/or compass by which teachers navigate as the standards adopted by local and state officials, the Common Core, and the NAGC Pre-K Grade 12 Gifted Programming Standards. These standards quite guide educators in providing appropriately challenging learning opportunities where the focus is on student outcomes. Ready to set sail. Whether you teach gifted students in a self-contained, mixed ability, pull-out, or cluster group classroom, I found the following 6 guiding ideas to be very helpful. I call them the 2 P's, the 2 C's, and the 2 F's of differentiation. Pre-assessment and a perky pace are essential. Choice and challenge are vital, and flexibility and feedback are required to help guide our students towards the distant shores where tropical breezes and exotic flora and fauna await. Lastly, remember that you are not Robinson Crusoe. You are not on that island all by yourself. Reach out to your friends and colleagues and collaborate to make the biggest impact you can possibly make on the lives of your students. Good luck on your adventure. Watch out for seasickness and hurricanes, and don't forget to enjoy the view.